It's Hexy. Back to Hill's Highway here, highway to the Reich. Let's talk anti-tank, or let's talk tank against tank combat. Um, I can see why a lot of people do struggle with this rule set here. It's. I don't want to say that the rules, the English or the terminology is written poorly. It just, I don't know, maybe with an index this thing would be a lot more efficient, but the wording or lack of wording in some cases, like I struggled with this tank against tank shooting, which you would think would be pretty simple. But so I've translated this my way. So, well, if I got it right, if you're an expert and I got it right, then make me a cookie and send it to me. So my first engagements were here between these two Panther units and two Sherman units from the Coldstream Guard, okay, from 1CG. And when you do this, it's simultaneous. So even if the first shooter destroys something, they still get to shoot with the strength they had before they took their losses. And then the losses are applied afterwards. So how does anti-tank work? Well, first off, or tank to tank, anti-tank, whatever you want to call it. It's anti-tank fire. So you got this little chart over here. Let me zoom out. All right, you got this little chart right here. Tells you what type of tank, what type of target the tank is. All right, so the AFE target types, and they tell you what they are: very light, light, light out, blah blah blah. And you will apply those with the type of tank shooting, whether it's medium or heavy or light or very light. Okay. I'm sorry, light, medium, or heavy. So the tank firing is classified. There's a chart inside your book. You can look that up. Tells you what each one is. And then against the target type. Now, you've got what's called a 2-hit roll. So if you roll less than that 2-hit roll and you are more than half, so let's say on a 2-hit of 8, you roll a 5, 6, 7, or 8, then you're going to cause one loss to the opponent you're shooting at, to the target. If you roll 1, 2, 3, or 4 from that underneath of 8, you're going to cause, well, you're going to have 2, 3, or 4 because you're rolling 2 dice. You're going to cause two strength point losses to the unit you're shooting at. All right, now that's easy, but then you've got this little additive down here. Now here's how I translated this: for every strength point above 1, you're going to add this to that 2-hit roll. So if you had a 2-hit value of 11, all right, which you get off of the charts, your charts and stuff, you would add a strength point. For each additional strength point, you would add 3 to the hit roll. So if you had 1 additional strength point, you would have a roll of 14 to hit. All right, so how do we translate that? Okay, so here's how I did it. So let's go back to my tanks here. All right. So the Panthers up there, now I did them individually, but when I fired, I put them together. So there's 2 Panther units here. Both of them are 267s. The effectiveness is the middle number, the morale's the last number, and the first number is their strength point. So the Panther is a heavy target type. He's a heavy shooter, and he's shooting at a medium target type. All right. So the 2-hit value is going to be an 8, all right? And it says they get 1.5 for each additional strength point. So both of these are 2s. So that's 1 additional strength point for each of those units. So that's 1.5 to each one. So you're going to consolidate the fire. So I'm adding 3 to that 2-hit roll, okay? So now it went up to 11. Well, when I rolled the dice against the Sherman's a medium target type. I rolled I think I rolled a 4. So there were 2 Sherman units here. The first one got eliminated. But they get to do the same thing. They get to shoot with their 2 and their 2 before the unit got eliminated. And these guys here are a medium anti-tank fire, or they shoot as a medium, and they defend their armor in defense as a medium. So now they're shooting a medium at a Panther, which is classified as a heavy. So their 2-hit roll for a medium to a heavy is 5. All right. And they had also, each unit had 1 additional strength point. So they're going to add 3/4. So they're going to add 1.5 to the 2-hit roll. All right. And amazingly enough, they rolled and took 1 loss from the Panthers. So the Panthers took out an entire unit of 2, and the Shermans took out 1 strength point from one of the Panther units. And that's how the tank-to-tank shooting works. You've also got, when you're shooting AT at, when you have units with anti-tank capability, which I'm not going to see any here, the paratroops, which they do have light anti-tank capability, but that can only be used in an opportunity fire or a close action type situation, okay? When a unit has a dot, it has anti-tank capability. Of course, obviously tanks do for the most part, right? And depending on the color of the dot will tell you, what type of capability, whether it's heavy, medium, or whatever. There might be multiple dots. Like over here, you've got these 4s. These Jagdpanzer 4s, they're just red, so they're just a medium, okay? I don't think the Brits have some more units coming on, but I think that's all the armor they got. It's all a bunch of Shermans, probably Fireflies, okay, that are on the board here. But so the anti-armor shooting, the anti-tank shooting is pretty simple. Seems a little off the wall, but it's you classify what type of anti-tank you're shooting with and compare it to the defender's anti-tank or armor strength, okay? Like whether they're heavy, light, medium, that's how it all works. So heavy, light, and medium for the shooter. And then for the defender, it can be very light, medium, heavy, or very heavy. And that's how, after I did 1 or 2 of them over here, it was a no-brainer. The hardest part is just making sure you identify what each type of anti-tank firing and each type of anti-tank defense is. And then you've got units, which I don't think I have any on the board yet. I don't know if the Germans here have any. Yeah, there's an anti-tank gun right there. See, he's got a red, so he's a medium. He's a medium. Oh, you can't see him. I'm sorry. There's a German anti-tank unit right here, and he's got a red dot, so he's going to be a medium firing anti-tank unit. And truthfully, I think that's the only one on the board. And we got 101st has a couple here. See what this guy is. This guy is white. He's got a white dot, so I believe he's going to be light. All right. And they are in travel mode right now anyhow. So there you go. That's how you do the anti-tank fire. Like I say, it's not that difficult once you do it once or twice. Now let's catch up on where we stand. So I had messed up the reinforcement schedule. I had everybody was actually 1 turn delayed. I wasn't even paying attention to it. But everybody except the last of the British units that are going to come on turn 43. Everybody else is on the board. So 101 pretty much got the rest of their stuff. It looks like you got 2 infantry divisions or pieces of 2 infantry divisions showed up. You got some Fallschirmjägers have showed up over here. They're coming in. So the Germans are coming in from both sides against the 101st and the Coldstream Guards units that are showing up. So these are the lead elements of 30 Corps that got up here. And let me tell you something. They got to these positions in 1 movement. All right. So you have 2 forms of movement in this game. You have your regular movement, and then you have what's called response movement. In response movement, leg units can only move a maximum of 2 hexes, and mobile units can move a maximum of 4. But in your regular movement phase, your conventional movement or whatever it's called, you get your full movement allowance. And along these roads, all the units have movement allowance of 12. Your mobile units have, I believe, movement allowance of 14. And depending on what mode you're in, whether they're in dismounted and leg like the infantry, or they're in travel mode, or they're in concentrated mode, will determine what it costs to move through each hex, terrain-wise. But on the road, armor just blows up. The travel mode, they just blow right up these roads, no problem. So, or even in concentrated mode. So these guys rolled pretty good up through here. Now we're getting ready to get into a fight. The paratroops finally have something they can shoot at. The only thing they can do to these mechanized units over here is if it's close action, or one of the mechanized units moves away or does something that creates opportunity fire, then they can apply the infantry. All the paratroop units have light anti-tank ability. Okay, so they can get a chance to shoot there. It's the only time they can shoot anti-tank is either in close action or in an opportunity fire phase. Opportunity fire is created, not created when you move in, or move, across somebody's front. Opportunity fire is created when you change order stacking, because only the top 2 units in a stack can fire, unless it's indirect fire. Or you move out of a zone of control, or you change mode. That creates opportunity fire in this game here. Okay. Yeah. A little bit of struggle looking through the rules. Having to do a little tiny bit of guesswork on some things. Not totally bad. I'm not completely disappointed with what the fire combat results are. I do have... See, I got a Panther unit knocked out. I got a Sherman unit knocked out. And I've got an infantry unit knocked out from the 101st. So you can believe me, the AFV units, their strengths are doubled during conventional fire. So the whole 107th over here, every unit over there has the ability to be mechanized. And these infantry units can't do nothing to them. But that's why these tanks are up here now. So we'll see how that goes. All right, still learning, still playing. We're get ready to go into the 4th turn of this thing, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're in the 4th turn of this game right now. And it's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns left. All right, let's get after it. Keep going. Highway to the Right. Decision games. Talk to y'all soon.